Why American men don't want to date American women anymore. A little disclaimer, I do live in the US for the past 7 years. 1. Some American men feel that American women are very entitled. They feel that many American women expect a partner who fit a specific ideal. He has to be smart, attractive, successful, fit. They believe that many American women have unrealistic expectations. They expect their partners to do everything, and they expect their partners to put their needs above their own. 2, because of the rise of radical feminism, there is a loss of femininity among American women, and they even started to adopt some masculine traits. 3, opportunistic behavior. A big percentage of divorces are initiated by women, and usually it's because they prioritize their career and personal growth over their family life. And a lot of men also express some frustration because they feel that there is a lack of commitment and loyalty among American women. And that is why a lot of American men are now dating non-American women, because they believe that non-American women tend to prioritize mutual respect, shared values, and commitment.
Some men walk away from dating after being used for attention, rejected for superficial reasons, and overlooked until it's far too late.
I think one of the problems that we face now is that for so long as women, as a gender, we've said, don't approach me. Don't approach me when I look cute. Don't approach me at the gas station. Don't approach me when I look busted down. Like, just don't approach. And men have gotten to the point where they're just like, I don't know when to approach you. I'm not sure. Now, in my younger years, right? Because it's been a while since I dated, but in my younger years, you make eye contact with the guy, and it was like an unspoken, yes, you can approach me, like unspoken permission. I don't know if that's happening anymore. I think that at this point, men have just kind of gotten turned away by all of the turn downs, by all of the rejection is the word I'm looking for. I don't think that there's anything wrong with a woman approaching a man, but be prepared for rejection. I'll just say that, just like men have been getting rejected as women, if you choose to approach, you're going to have to be prepared for that rejection.
I mean, honestly, I don't think all of this conversation and all these talks about men not approaching women, I don't think it's true. I think it's a farce. And the reason why I say that is because it seems like every other day I'm coming across a video that's saying that men are approaching women and they don't like the way these men are approaching them. And I don't see how all of these women are getting approached every time they leave the house. But then you also have women that are also saying that men don't approach anymore. Somebody is not telling the truth.
Women do get approached, just not by the men they actually want.
You want to know your hint to go up to a girl? Eye contact. If they're just looking at you, they want you to come up to them.
I'm
just
taking
like
mental notes.
And this is my hint. I literally kept going like this. And we made eye contact, I swear to you, like maybe 8-9 times. So that was my hint, like come up to me, like I'm obviously I think you're cute or something, right? Did not come up to me, and I was
So
like,
basically
all right,
read her
kinda
mind.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was
That's
saying.
a note.
I get back home, I wake up the next day, I get a DM. Hey, saw you at the Steve Madden event. You're really cute. I open it. It was the pink shirt guy. I was like, why didn't you come up to me, like at the actual thing?
Guys are scared nowadays.
Guys are so scared.
Equality, right? Then why is chasing still considered a man's responsibility in 2025? If we're all equal, stop waiting on a pedestal. Go after what you want. This isn't the medieval era. Make a move or stay single.
55% of men find themselves scared to approach women for the fear of being labeled creepy. And on the other end, 77% of women say they want a man to approach them. Women want the power of a man, the privilege of a woman, and the accountability of a child. In their mind, they can demand respect rather than earning it. When faced with reality, these women come to understand that they cannot shape the world according to their desires.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Some women just can't be satisfied.
Gotten this complaint from a lot of women actually that men don't really make real approaches anymore. If they do, it's like some bullshit, like they're gonna catcall or whatever. I do blame the internet as a part of it, but also
I think it's safer for dating apps and Instagram because I just send a DM or send a text, you don't respond, okay, cool, no pressure, no actual rejection, is whatever.
Men don't fear women. They fear false allegations. Approaching feels risky, so dating apps seem safer. And the truth is, she only misses attention from the men she actually wants.
There was a study done in the 90s, and what they found out, I think, still holds true today. So what they did is they took a group of men and they took a group of women and they categorized these men. So it was like high status, t-shirt, McDonald's. Same thing with the women. High status, t-shirt, McDonald's. And then they asked, the men, okay, would you go to coffee with this person, go on a date, marry? And in all three categories, the guy didn't care. He's like, yes, sure, whatever. With women, it was a whole different story. Women went to the high status man for the majority of them. So that was for coffee, date, marriage. My takeaway on this is just goes along with the trends I've been seeing. So we are in this Kardashian culture and have been for, 10 years. I don't know how long they've been on. But this idea of perfection has just been kind of unseen before. I mean, before we had magazines, we knew they were kind of airbrushed, but what we see now, women are doing eyebrows, microblading, dermaplaning, eyelash extensions, hair extensions, lip fillers, cheek fillers, breast implants, butt implants, fat transfer, taking ribs out. I mean, literally women are taking their ribs out. So I think just the pressure and the unattainable beauty that they put on themselves, they're also putting that sort of unattainable image and desire on a guy as well. And that's why these guys are backing out, because guys know, that's crazy. We can't do all that. Some can. I mean, it's the small minority can do that. But for the majority of men, they're not going to be able to get to your high standards that you not only put on yourself, but you're putting on these men too. And I don't even know if women are aware that they're doing that. And if you think about it, it's really a beautiful thing that men will just kind of take you as you are. They don't need you to be high status, or they don't care where you work. If you work at McDonald's or you're making six figures and some executive of a company. But look at what we're doing to men. We want them to just be everything. It's unattainable. They're getting out of the market, and rightfully so. So I even asked my brother about this. I said, hey, is this true? Men don't care? He's like, 1,000%. Men could give two shits. And I was like,
Women created unrealistic standards for years, and now men are simply stepping back when a facade falls apart.
The truth is that the good guys are done with dating.
I think she's pandering a little, but there is a lot of this going on right now. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a good guy. I'm not saying that all good guys are single or that all single guys are good. I'm just saying that a lot of us are kind of here right now. When I was a teenager, I thought dating worked like this. I did not know that this step was going to be here. I guess we could call this a negotiation ship. It's when someone is not willing to give 100%. And it always happens when somebody drops the ball. For me, I've experienced a lot of ghosting, a lot of trading up, and it doesn't matter which guy I am. Even if I'm this guy, how do I know you're not gonna just do this? Couple women showed up wearing wedding rings. That does not inspire confidence. The most common thing for me is that we get to this stage and she says she wants to be polyamorous, which means she already is. I even had a crush on someone in 5th grade, and she didn't like me until after college, and we hung out for a month before she told me that she had a boyfriend. I've had some people tell me that I might just be attracting this kind of woman, and maybe that's true, or maybe they just shouldn't be doing these things, but for now I'm just kind of out of ideas.
Dating today feels like a transaction. People keep multiple options at once, leaving genuine men drained, unappreciated, and choosing to exit a shallow, exhausting scene.
So am I the only woman that no longer gets approached by men? No, because I had to actually sit and think about this, and I had to ask myself, when is the last time a man came up to me and wanted to get to know me or exchange numbers? And it's been a long time.
Well, I got news for you. It's going to be even longer because y'all are full of it. That's it. No YouTube talking points, no elaborate explanations, because at this point, y'all ain't listening. Dudes keep telling y'all what the problem is, but you just keep powering through it. You just keep saying it's not you, it's the men, so just keep doing that. You'll see how that works out for you.
You can't shame men nonstop and then act shocked when they withdraw. They heard the message and left. Don't be surprised now that the attention supply has dried up.
When men say they're done with dating, that doesn't mean they're done with relationships. It doesn't mean they're giving up on starting families. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means they're done with dating, okay? And I think a lot of them have a hard time verbalizing this, so that's what I'm going to try to do in this video. Now, there's a little bit of an unwritten rule that men are starting to understand about dating, and you've probably heard people say this in the past. If not, you're going to hear it now, but the only winning move is to not play. You know, in regards to dating, the only winning move is to not play. That's what men are starting to realize. Again, like I said, relationships are fine. Families, fine. Dating, not good. Let me explain why. And this is the part that a lot of people have a hard time verbalizing. This is the dating experience for a man who's actually dating. It could be with your wife, it could be with your girlfriend, it could be a woman that you just met, you know, somebody on Tinder that you're taking out on a first date, whatever. Typically, you have to find a nice little venue to go to. You know, you might just go to dinner, but typically you want to go out and have a good time. So you find a nice venue with good music that you like. You pick her up, you drive to the venue, you park, you know, you pay her $10 to park or whatever, and then you walk to the front door and you wait in line. It's not the greatest experience, but you do what you have to do. Then finally you get to the door. And when you get to the door, there's some 7-foot monster roided up standing there, and he looks at your girl and he says, "You're good," and he throws her a compliment, compliments her looks a little bit. You know, "You're good, looking good tonight, you can go in." And then he looks at you, the man, and he says, "That'll be $20 for you, dirtbag." Maybe it's not that harsh. You know, sometimes it's not that harsh, sometimes it's even more harsh than that. But I'm not talking about the words here. It's the action. And the action is she gets in free, and the man has to pay $20 to get in, $25, sometimes higher, to get in. Now, everybody knows this is true. They have ladies' night, and you know, things like this happen. And we've just grown to expect it. This is the norm. But every man knows when he's at the front door and his girl can go in for free, and he just has this cuckoning moment, you know, this humiliating moment where it's like, she can go in, but I'm so unwanted here that I have to pay. And that's the way the system is set up. That's the way the dating market is set up. Men are not wanted there. Okay, just like this venue. Why do they have this set up? Because women are wanted there. Men are not wanted there. So they put a paywall there to prevent at least broke men from coming in. And by the way, they don't want alphas in there. They don't want charismatic chads in there. They don't want pickup artists in there. No, they want guys in there that will spend their money, guys that will fork out their cash. So they want a bunch of women. They'll fill the place to maximum capacity with women, and they'll let a few guys in, you know, a few suckers in to come in and blow all their money. And men finally started to wake up. You know, they finally started to understand that they go out there and they're not wanted. It has literally nothing to do with women. Okay, it's not all these people that are trying to make it a man versus woman thing. That's stupid.
Men are expected to invest time, money, and effort only to be used or discarded. Peace is cheaper. A dog, a hobby, and financial freedom beat the chaos of modern dating any day.
Men are not cold approaching women anymore. And the more I think about cold approaching, the more it just doesn't make sense and the more stupid it sounds, right? When you're cold approaching, you're in the lower position starting off. So the percentage level of you being successful is very slim, and slim just die. Attractive guys don't have to cold approach. Guys with money don't have to cold approach. They have leverage in some way, either their looks or their finances, social status, combination of all three, right? This is why they don't have to cold approach, right? In today's society, cold approach is dying because you got to understand women only want the top 20 to 30% of a guy, right? In general. So if they start cold approaching in general, they're only going to be cold approaching those kind of guys.
Approaching women today feels like a setup. Average men risk labels, humiliation, and instant rejection, while only the wealthy or socially high-status guys get a fair chance.
A third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. My comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're...
Too many women bring entitlement, conflict, and emotional baggage instead of peace, loyalty, and affection. Men are tired of the disrespect and empty promises.
Then I saw this video about how guys are like maybe shy or scared to ask girls out now. I don't know why they're not going up to a woman. Like, what's holding them back from that?
Because of feminism and Me Too and all that shit. And because women will put men on blast who like maybe awkwardly approach them.
Yeah.
And like also those gym TikTok videos where girls like work out in the gym and then there's like a guy who like glances at them for like 1 second and they blast them. That's what guys are scared of. And these guys aren't even doing anything wrong. Sometimes they're not even looking in their direction. But like, so there's like this social component now where like people are terrified to get like exposed on social media. So
a woman commented, "We are soulless, heartless, and have no remorse, shame, or morals. I see why guys don't want to ask us out anymore." That statement speaks for itself.
I was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends the other day, and she was telling me how she has a male friend who she's interested in romantically. And I said, "Have you said anything to him?" And she was like, "No." And I said, "Why not?" And she said, "Well, he should get my hints." And I said, "Hints? What hints?" She's like, "I mean, the way I act around him and you know, all this stuff." And I was like, "The way you act around him? Like, what do you mean?" And she's like, "You know, he should see that I like him." And I was just like, "So why don't you just tell him that you like him?" And she's like, "Well, I don't do that. I don't chase men." And I was like, I like chasing men and letting a man know that you're interested in him are two different things. Chasing a man is once he knows that you like him and he's still not giving you any type of time of day or whatever. He kind of has you just kind of lingering over here. Letting a man know, and I don't necessarily mean like, "Hey, I like you," but giving him some subtle hints at least to let him know that you like him is two totally different things. And I was like, "So how do you think he's going to know that you like him if you never say anything?" She's like, "Well, he's gonna have to figure it out." And I had to tell her, like, in this day and time, men are not approaching women, which is really weird to me. But I had to sit back and think, like, why aren't men approaching women? And I've come up with the thought of maybe it has to do with COVID and the Me Too movement. COVID, we were in the house for a year and a half by ourselves. And so we've just kind of learned how to, one, be by ourselves. And two, the Me Too movement, let me tell you something. If you talk or get with the wrong woman, they can ruin your whole life. I mean, just look at Shannon Sharp. He just lost his job at ESPN because he wanted some little young OnlyFans model who he was in a relationship with, but then turned around and said, "Oh yeah, you sexually assaulted me, you raped me, you know, the R word and all these other things." And it's just like, what? So yeah, men, I think, gentlemen, if I'm wrong, let me know. But this is just my thought process, that men are just kind of like, just being cautious. Like, yeah, I'm not approaching women because, also in the day of social media, women will do dumb things like post it on social media and be like, "Oh, look at this guy, he tried to talk to me, oh, he's weird," you know. So it's like, I think men are just like, you know, I'm good. Like, if you're interested, let me know. But other than that, I'm just going to keep it moving. That's how I perceive it. And honestly, if I was a man, that's probably how I would perceive it too. Because like I said, you know, women would be like, "Oh, he sexually assaulted me. Blanche, all he did was touch your elbow." You know, now everything is creepy, everything is a sexual assault, everything is unwanted attention. You know, men would usually be like, "Hi, how you doing? Smile, oh, you look good today." Now women are like, "What do you mean? Why are you smiling at me? What do you mean I look good today?" Everything is taken so out of context. So yeah, if I was a man, I wouldn't say anything to women. I'm gonna keep it moving. Unless you stop me and be like, "Hey, I like you." I'd be like, "All right, keep it moving." So fellas, let me know, am I off? Am I putting too much thought into this? Like I said, it was just my thought, because I was just trying to figure out, like, what has happened over the past few years. Because before I could go anywhere. I could be at the gas station, the grocery store, walking down the street, and men would be like, they would stop me. Hey, I find you attractive. Can I get your number? Whatever. I get stares. They looking at me, I'm looking at him. They looking at me, I'm looking at him. And we looking like, are we gonna say anything? So yeah, that's my thought process. Let me know. What is the reason? What is the reason? What is the reason?
Women today are dealing with the consequences of their own actions. Simple as that. Men are done trying to decode hidden hints, say what you want clearly, or stay single wondering why no one can read your mind.
All right, listen, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. You won. You won, ladies. I'm done dating. I can't do it. The dating world's so bad. I can't. Do I got food pantry stamped on my forehead? Somebody answer me that question, because the amount of food and mouths I fed going out on dates, that's how I feel. I can give hams to the homeless this year for Christmas with the amount of mouths that I fed going on first. I could be driving a Ferrari. I could be driving a Ferrari right now with the amount of money I spent on first dates. I can't take it anymore. And listen, I get it.
This is exactly why a lot of men are just done with dating. They're frustrated because they're doing what they think they're supposed to be doing. They are putting a lot of time and effort and money into the first date. But when ladies don't appreciate that and they go into those first dates with very low energy and very little reciprocation, the date is not going to go well. And that just leads to a lot of these failed first dates. But for women, they will just keep going on these first dates because they're not really putting anything into it. It's different for men, which is why men are becoming more and more careful about who they're asking out on that first date and what that first date looks like. He might rather suggest a coffee date or a long walk. And I think that those are good solutions for men. But the problem is that a lot of women still have not adjusted to it. They think that if a man doesn't spend a ton of money on her on the first date, that he either doesn't have it or doesn't like her very much. Not true, ladies. He's probably just a good man that's tired of feeling used.
When a woman dismisses sincere effort, she's not pursuing connection. She's chasing status. Leave early and protect your peace. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.